I have prepared a JMP script that I will share, and it's about database queries. As last time asked by, yes, Peter, he is here as well. Welcome, Peter. How to do this, firing a lot of queries in background and collecting the results. And there is one topic to look at because there is a bug in JMP. It may change the preferences from hide ODBC connection string. Like you can see here, if I execute this, you will see that my ODBC connection string is not hidden. You can see it here in the preferences as well. Here, tables. It's not hidden. And that means that the ODBC connection and the script is working that we get in the database after performing the SQL query with new SQL query. It should be new SQL query function. And yes, new SQL query is the recommended way to use for database queries, as you can see here in the community. So I have it here in the script, and it opens in my Explorer here in the community. And there was a question from me and by the developers. It has been answered. And they say that this is the way to use for database queries because it will be documented and maintained best. And there are some references for this topic, like this can be done. So there are several ways. I will show one, and here are some others. So this one, for example, you will find them all in the minutes of the meeting. Here's one example with solution. Here is another one. I will use global variables, but this can be done with namespace as well. I will show later why. And these approaches are all different. And here is just another one, how to wait for the queries being finished then. You will find them all in the community. And there are as well some problems or bugs, like there may be one thing that you get not the full data set without JMP notifying you for this. And there is a JMP wishlist entry. You will find it in the community in the wishlist. And yes, it makes a problem for us. I did not expect this behavior at all. That's what I've been quite surprised. And this is the one I have been talking about at the beginning. It is about JMP. It may change the preference settings, and I didn't expect this as well. So now we come to the topic we are talking about here. And when I'm thinking about putting many queries to the database and collecting the results, I need a data structure to hold all the information I need for this. And this may be at least a SQL query, a name, and maybe a data table reference, and maybe additionally ODBC connection. And I have chosen an associative array to store all this data. And as said already, I need a global variable. And that's why I put these two colons here before. This makes this associative array a global one. I need it because in the onRun complete script, this is a different scope as the scope in the script. And that's why I need to use a global variable, or it can be solved by a namespace as well. And the structure looks like, yes, I generate an associative array and I have different elements that contain the names. In my case, it is DT1, DT2, and DT3. And inside that associative array, I have another associative array that has the SQL string in it, like this. It's a very small one. And it has a reference to the data table in it. It is set to empty. And later I will ask for whether all empty entries are filled. And when doing this, I will execute the full script and it will stop here. You will see how this can work with a real database connection. So the connection is set up now. The first time it takes a little longer because the connection needs to be set up. The second time it will go more quickly. And we see first the first data table occurring, the second, the third, then they all vanish. And I made a concatenate of these data tables like this. And I see the source table here. And we see all the source, modify, query, and update from database script. And in this example, I will share with you. I close the table here. I have used a script that contains the encrypted connection string, like you can see here. It includes the connection, and if you want to use, you need to fill in your own connection. If I execute this the second time, it works a little quicker. Maybe a third time, the bug doesn't happen. Just before I had it happening here, showing me that the scripts are looking differently, but no, it is not the case. So this is about a real database, and this could be have done in another way without associative arrays. Maybe in a list, I could put in the database the data table references. It makes the script a little simpler, because here I need the eval and eval expression, because JMP would otherwise not be able to use this associative array, because these are more or less constants in the square brackets, and it wouldn't work without the eval and eval expression, because we first need to fill in the name that comes within that loop, and then define the script that gets attached to the query, and that is executed on run complete. And this is what runs after all the queries have been fired off. We have a while loop. I set the counter to 1, and I set missing tables to 1. And then I get simply a list out of that associative array that gets me all the data table references. And as far as they have an empty element in it, they will give a positive value, and as long this happens, we will remain in that loop. And when all references are filled, I get this printed, and we can concatenate everything. And if you are not able to work with real databases, I have added a second script here that works with JMP databases, and it shows as well how it works. Here, when we define the associative array, you can see it is populated with these queries here, and the queries are from big class. I select the pupils of age 13, of age 14, of age 15, and then we do the query here by JMP query builder using a JMP data table, and we do not need any connection. And we execute it, but simply on run complete, a run background will not work. On run complete works, yes, but running in background does not work. And that's the reason why we have here first all the queries executing, and we do not need the while loop here. And if I execute this, you can see how this works again. So first 13-year-olds, then 14, then 15 appear, and then we get the concatenated data table with age 13, 14, and 15. And doing so, we may need to look at the scripts. Like you can see here, they are copied together from the concatenate operation. And we may have a look at the column SQL that may make trouble with large data tables, because if you have a large SQL and that is stored in each row, it can make memory overflow problems like I had before for concatenating large data tables. So that's it for my script, my contribution, and I would like to hand over to Jarmo when you are ready.